What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik of the Fight Guys, and I'm also a Forbes contributor. And I want to talk to you about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I wrote this up on Forbes. Of course, you can read it there, but it was a little bit different. My tone is going to, I guess, be a little bit different than it was in that article. As many of you may have seen on Friday night at the Talking Stick Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, Julio Cesar Chavez dropped. It's hard to even explain exactly what he did, but he lost, and officially he lost via fifth round TKO to Daniel Jacobs. To put it plainly, Chavez quit. He quit in the corner. He claimed initially that he had broken his hand. Then after the fight, during the post-fight interviews and during a brief conversation with Danny Jacobs, he talked about taking headbutts and illegal shots to the face and to the nose, and that resulted in a broken nose for him. So technically, he lost by a TKO. At this point, we all need to be done with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We're basically enabling him to continue to deliver these excuses and to continue to underachieve and to thrive off of his legendary father's name. Yes, he is a former world champion, but it's been a long time since Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been worthy of any level of attention. He's been very inactive, and there's several other things that have gone on. We have past drug tests or past drug suspensions that cost him money, as well as 9 months of his career. We've had repeated weight issues, not to mention the fact that he missed weight by nearly 5 pounds for Friday's fight against Daniel Jacobs. There's been a litany of things that have happened over the years. Since 2017, when he laid an absolute egg in the ring against Canelo Alvarez, he's only fought one time. He's fought a grand total, I believe, one round before the fight with Jacobs. So he's been extremely inactive, yet there were more than 10,000 people at the Talking Stick Resorts Arena to see him compete. In the ring on Friday, I thought he actually won the first round. I thought he came out aggressive. He seemed to be trying to push the pace, trying to fight the style of fight he needed to have in order to have any success. I think size-wise, he literally looked like a cruiserweight in there fighting maybe a super middleweight or a light heavyweight. The size advantage was huge in Chavez's favor, and I thought he did a good job early. But from the second round on, Jacobs was taking control of the fight. He was outboxing him, outlanding him. He was starting to break his face up. There was a cut under Chavez's left eye, and he was bleeding out of the nose. He very well may have broken his nose, and that seems to be the report after that. But I'm pretty sure, based off watching every second of that particular fight, that if he did suffer a broken nose, it came from a punch from Jacobs. Chavez did land a strong right hand in the fifth round, and he had a little bit of a moment there, but I thought that Jacobs came back and took control of the fight from that point on. In between the fifth and the sixth round, he's standing in a corner. You can hear him talk about his hand. Referee asks him, does he want to continue? He says no. The look on his dad's face as this fight was ending, just to hear the angst and the disappointment in the voice of Sergio Mora, who was doing the color commentary for the Zone on that night, and just everything. The arena erupted in all of the wrong ways. Fans were throwing objects into the ring. It was actually a pretty unsafe environment, and so many of those fans were angry and disappointed at the fact that yet again Chavez had let them down. If you really want to know the truth, and obviously I can't say that I know this, but this is what it looks like to me. When you look at Chavez, he really looks like a spoiled young man, still a young man at this point, who has thrived and benefited from the fame and the success of his father. You look at someone like Chavez Jr., who is one of the greatest legends in the history of the sport. He is a boxing icon. He is a hero to many of the Mexican people. And obviously, his offspring would come into the sport with a head start, with a built-in fan base. There's only so much that that built-in fan base should be able to accomplish for him. And I think that he has more than eaten off of that. It cost him $1 million when he missed weight by nearly 5 pounds of a $3 million purse. Why in the world is a guy who has fought one round since 2017 and who hasn't accomplished anything in the ring and I don't know how long still getting a $3 million purse? And that's not even counting whatever else he earned from some sort of endorsements, any ticket sales he may have gotten a piece of, whatever, what all of the things that were built into what his take home was. It's insane to think that someone with his recent track record would still be able to garner that sort of payday. So it is just amazing. But we have been, as a boxing community, and then fans and media have been enablers for this sort of underachievement. And no one, and I'm saying in boxing period, no one is truly holding him accountable for literally not showing up and quitting and giving less than 100% of an effort, just being a shell of a fighter from a professional standpoint. No one has held him accountable, and his problem is he continues to do these things that he does, not showing up and just falling short because he knows that at the end of the day, he's still Chavez Jr. And there is a certain amount of following and support that he's going to receive just simply because that's his name. And on the other hand, it almost seems like he might resent the pressure, but then you resent the pressure, but you obviously benefit and enjoy what you get from the notoriety. So it's really a crazy thing. And I'm saying this now, and don't get me wrong, I don't expect people to follow this or to do this, but the boxing community on a whole needs to just essentially put their foot down. He's talking about returning in May, saying that he wants a rematch with Jacobs. For what? What I'm saying is, as a boxing community, fans need to say, you know what? We're done supporting Chavez because these purses, these massive purses that he's receiving, those things will stop if the fans stop showing up. If the fans stop showing up from a viewership standpoint, from a ticket sales standpoint, if they stop showing up, so do the purses. Something has to happen where this guy has to earn it. I don't think that that's something that he's shown the willingness to do, but it's boxing. And we've seen strange and ridiculous things happen in the past. And we've certainly not seen that happen for the last time. But the only way to stop this Chavez Jr. charade is for fans and boxing media to stop enabling him. And that means you have to put your foot down and say, I'm done. I'm not interested in your next fight. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate you watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. God bless and peace.